Hey, what's going on, y'all? Can we talk about Wakanda? Just for a second. Okay. So I done been to Wakanda twice, y'all. Yes, I done been to Wakanda twice. So look, listen, y'all. Black Panther is everything. And I know y'all been hearing everybody talk about it, but I want to get on here and get my 2 cents in. I've been meaning to do it. Honey, I'm late, but it's better to be late than never. But anyway, yeah, Black Panther is everything. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't often say that about a movie. I've seen it twice, and that's not, you know, I don't always go see a movie twice. I'll go see a movie, and if I think it's really, really good, I'll be like, oh, I can't wait for it to come out on DVD. But this movie, I was like, I got to go see it again. Hell, I might go see it a third time if that's what my heart desires, you know? But basically, there were a lot of takeaways from the movie, and I thought they had a lot of there was a lot of great hidden messages or whatever. And, but I want to say, first of all, the acting was nothing short of phenomenal. Everybody did really well in the movie. I didn't grow up as a Marvel fan, and not to say that there was anything wrong with Marvel, but I just didn't grow up, and I mean, I wasn't into it growing up. And, but when I saw the preview, I just knew, I said, this is going to be a really good movie. And I thought that because when I saw Michael B. Jordan and I saw Chadwick Boseman in the movie, I was like, oh my God, those two together? Because here's the thing. I associate those two guys with having good roles. I mean, because I've seen their careers over the years. You know, we saw Chadwick Boseman as Jackie Robinson. We saw him as James Brown in Get On Up, and, you know, Thurgood Marshall, and just, you know, some stuff like that. And then, you know, we got Michael B. Jordan. He played in Creed, The Wire. He also played a small reoccurring role in that show called The Parenthood. He used to come on NBC, whatever. But, you know, he's just been doing his thing. They've both been doing their thing over the years, and they've been having really good roles. So just for me, it was based off of that. And I was like, oh, that's going to be good. I got to go see it. And I'm glad I did, because I was right. That was an excellent fucking movie, you know. The takeaway, the first thing I noticed that I thought stood out to me was through Michael B. Jordan's character, Eric Killmonger, the way that he was trying to connect with his African roots. He was basically an African American, but he was trying to connect with those African roots. And also just the fact that he really couldn't, because they really didn't know him. You know what I'm saying? I think for me, the takeaway for me in that situation was that it's very important to know your family, and it's very important to be brought up in your, you know, your culture, your family, whatever your culture is. It's very important that as parents, you know, you raise your children around their families and stuff. And, you know, because in real life, you know, you see that now, you know, there's a lot of people who don't know their siblings because maybe they have the same father and different moms, and for whatever reason, they're not really brought up around one another. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a great thing to put in the movie, because you see that now. And then another thing that I really loved about the movie was the women of Wakanda, honey. They were fierce, honey. They were bold, they were fierce, they were bold, they were fierce, and they were strong. But here's the thing. They wasn't strong because they were bitter or nothing like that, because y'all know that's the go-to for people to try to say about Black women who are strong, is that they are angry and bitter. But no, these women were not angry. They were not bitter. They were just passionate about their country, and they stood, you know, on those grounds. And what I loved the most was that even though these women were bold, fierce, and all of that, these women were all of that. You hear me? What I love the most is that they were all those things, but they were still submissive, and they stood by those men. They stood by those men, and they let those men lead, and they let the king be the king. They didn't try to be, you know, they stayed in their position as women, but they held them down and they supported them. I love that, because we have lost a lot of that in today's society. So I thought that was a beautiful thing to see. Another thing I want to point out was I love Latisha Wright's character. She played as Black Panther's little sister. And I love her character because she was so smart. She was very, very technical savvy and everything. And she was still cool. She was still down to earth. I love that. And they're actually deeming her as the breakout star too. But I loved her character because it showed that, you know, for young girls, there's a lot of things you can shoot for the stars. You know, I think it's time for our children to see that they can be other things, they can do other things than play basketball, be football players, and there's nothing wrong with that. I promise there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with trying to be a singer or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like it's time for our children to see that there's other careers out there that they can shoot for. They can shoot to be a scientist or, an astronaut or, something, other than what they've been getting into. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, there's other things out there that they can go be. So I really thought that was a great thing. Another thing I want to point out is that when we saw TChalla first, have his fight with M'Baka, the women were very supportive and they were egging him on like, yeah. And he won that battle. But when he fought his own cousin, Eric Killmonger, they had given into defeat, in a sense, and they wasn't really, rooting him on like that, and he ended up getting overthrown. And I don't want to tell too much of the movie for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I thought that was good to see because it showed that without support sometimes it can really, it can really cause you to, lose sometimes. So their support was very important to him. So anyway, and I'm not going to tell no more of the movie, but there was like I said, there was a lot of great stuff that was in the movie. There was a lot of great hidden, just subliminals and stuff like that. Also, I want to say this too. If you haven't seen the movie, when you go see the movie, do not get up as soon as the credits start rolling, because there's actually some more scenes that a lot of people have actually missed because they got up as soon as the credits start rolling. So as soon as you hear SZA and Kendrick Lamar's song when it first goes off, don't get up, because after that they show a scene where they show T'Challa and Nakia and them. They go and talk to the people, and that's where T'Challa makes that statement when he says, fools, he said the wise build bridges and the fools build barriers, So that was an interesting point. And I don't know if that was shade towards the president, for, building that wall and stuff like that. I don't know, but it was a really good point that he made. And then after that scene, another set of credits start rolling, and then they show another scene, which is actually the segue into the next Avengers. So just want to point that out to you guys. And let me say this too. People were saying that Tyler Perry was jealous of the numbers that Black Panther has done and things like that. But here's the thing. What a lot of people may not know is that actually a lot of Black Panther was filmed in Georgia in Tyler Perry's studio. So I don't really think Tyler Perry was jealous. I don't think so. But anyway, so yeah, that was mainly the things that I took away from the movie. I appreciate this movie. A big shout out to Ryan Coogler. You did the damn thing. And everybody in the movie, I think that everybody deserves all the accolades, all the recognition, just everything that they're receiving, because it was a powerful movie. This movie is #1 in the fucking country. Damn, hello. So it's phenomenal, hell, like I said, I might go see it a third time. I don't know. If I feel like it, that's what I'm going to do. But, so yeah, if you haven't go see it, go see it. It's great. Take your kids. It's wonderful. So, that was all I wanted to come on here and say, y'all. So that's it. Peace.